I'm journaling from bed this week, sharing my weekly dream status report. This is my second week of doing a video to share what's happening as I do this sheet. I started it last week because we are now, officially creative dreaming in a dystopia. It's fucking hard. And I think I just want to encourage you to do this practice with me. You can download this sheet on my blog. I post that link every Friday, and I talk about my own process with it. And I'm starting these videos now to talk about it a little more in depth, just so that it's like we're doing this together. Because this practice of really checking in every week with your dream, reflecting on how the last week went, learning from your own process, and then setting a new intention for next week. This is the kind of stuff that's just really helpful. And we need all the help that we can get. Right. Last week I talked about how I had a really hard time filling out my sheet, and it was just like everything was, This week I didn't have any, but I have so much anger. So that's what I want to talk about here. We had a group coaching call on Tuesday in the Creative Dream Incubator membership. It's the call we do every month right before the new moon, where we set intentions for the next month and then come up with what are the practices, the tools, and the supports that will help you do what you want to do over the next month. So coaching, right? I've been doing these monthly calls for a very long time. It's never been this hard for everyone before, right? Obviously, given what's happening in the world. Just the level of stress on top of, everyone's impacted in different ways, right? And when it comes to our creative dreams and the things we feel called to do, the way we want to live our life, there's always been obstacles, and I probably always will be obstacles, and like obstacles outside of you, and then the inner self-doubt or lack of confidence or fears. Like all of that is just heightened. And after that call, a few hours later, I started feeling really angry, and like really angry, like my whole body just filled with rage. I'm angry that so many people with beautiful dreams and gifts that they want to share, things they want to do, are so stymied, like just not able to do these things. And I'm angry because I think life is sacred. All life is sacred, and it is an incredible gift and opportunity that we can experience it. And these fucking madmen are just ruining it for everyone. And me being angry about it doesn't help anything, doesn't solve anything. And me telling myself not to be angry really doesn't help anything, because it is bad for me, right? To not validate my own feelings. So, I've been validating my feelings and really listening, like what does this anger need? And that's really, that's the question. If you're really scared about what's happening, if you're anxious, like whatever it is, if you're having intense feelings, ask those feelings what they need. I really do believe that our dreams, the things we feel inspired and called to do, that this is our soul saying, this is your path, this is for you. And this is also our soul saying, this is who you really are, this person who can do these things. Whereas the world, like the dominant culture that we live in, has really different things to say about who we are and what is possible for us, and what our life is supposed to look like, and what we're supposed to aspire to. And so creative dreaming has always been like the work of really soul work, and like freeing yourself from everything that who the world told you to be, and figuring out how to be you. And that just feels, and it is, like really next level, like multiple next levels now, because we're fighting for our survival. One of the things that came to me as I was journaling about all of my anger is that fascists and billionaires are trying to steal our dreams. And we really need to fight back. So I'm just like processing the intensity of the feelings that I'm having and really listening to what they mean for me. I don't have solutions. I'm not coming to you with solutions and I'm not offering solutions. And that's not what this video series is about at all. It's just about being in the process, right? I do know for sure that if we are upset about the state of the world and we just tell ourselves to calm down, that will not change anything. If we are upset and validate our feelings and listen to them, that can be a very messy process, and we don't like answers don't come immediately, and there can be a lot of missteps, right? I also know that for everything that we wish was different, there are already people working on it, and those people are capable, and those people are intelligent and know what they're doing. And so if you're identifying, I'm really angry about this in particular, find the people near you who are already working on that problem, and ask them how you can help. Right? Like sometimes we get frozen because we don't know how to solve these big problems, and we are not supposed to. And each person reinventing the wheel isn't helpful anyway. There are already movements, there's already lots of things happening to solve every problem that we face. And so we can join the movements that are already happening. It is easier to know where to join and how to help when we've actually like listened to our own feelings about it. So that's where I am right now. I guess one way of saying it too is that I'm feeling like the activism that I've been doing, which I tend to keep separate from my work, is starting to feel like it needs to come together in a new way. And maybe that's just in my way of relating to things, or maybe it's in something that I don't know. And this is creative dreaming, making space for the ideas and thoughts, and not like don't don't necessarily act on them right away, because we can be then kind of reactionary with our feelings, but really making space and listening to all of the different ideas that are coming up, and then continuing to show up every day to sit with that process and notice, how is this feeling for you? And a journal is the best place to do this, right? Because you can keep that visual record of where your thoughts are going with it. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. My dream status report, I ended with I need a daily creative practice, which I already have. That's the most important thing for both me and my dream. And then the extra note was follow every thread. So that's like one of the things in creative dreaming is nothing is happening by accident. So if I'm putting my art in an art show and then suddenly I have this fear or self-doubt, I shouldn't try to ignore or avoid that fear or self-doubt, but that self-doubt is a part of my experience with the art show, and it's like it's on purpose. It's all a part of it. And it's like, oh, but I signed up to make art I love and then enjoy the experience of showing it. I didn't sign up for self-doubt. And it's like, you did actually in the broader picture. So every thread is connected. So maybe that wasn't the best example with the self-doubt, because everyone, almost everyone, has self-doubt when they make art to show in a new way. But say I'm making art to show in a new way, and then someone in my life gets sick and needs me to take care of them. And now I'm like in this position of having to figure out, how do I add this new thing into the mix? And it's really important, but it also brings up all of these uncomfortable questions about boundaries and self-care, and like it turns into a big mess. That mess is on purpose. That mess, figuring out your boundaries and how you're there for the people in your life and how they're there for you, and how you make space for everything. That's very much a part of your experience of making art for the art show, even though in moments we're going to feel like, no, I wish I was just making art and it was simple. It's not. And the more you follow every single thread, the more you're really in the richness of actually the entirety of the inner and outer growth that this dream is calling you towards. And we're usually wrong about what that growth is going to look like. So if we're choosing which threads to follow based on what we think we know about what the growth is that's happening as we make this dream happen, then we are missing some really important pieces. So follow every thread, was my note to myself for this week. And I'll see you back here next Friday.